YouTube. A light on this back at you from right here at the Green Thumb Gardening Channel here in Grow Zone 8B right here in Tifton, Georgia. And in today's video, YouTube, I'm super excited to be bringing you guys along with me back out to my mom's planter, Queen Annie's place. Today is indeed July the 11th, 2020. And today also, YouTube, today also is harvest day. Those Beauregard sweet potato slips that my mom's been growing for approximately the last 110 days were planted back on March 21st of this year. Today is again July the 11th. I'm gonna put this camera around for you guys, take you over to the Queen Annie's place and show you what her sweet potato vines are currently looking like. I'm gonna remove those vines from her planter. I'm gonna get this harvest video underway, YouTube. Hang tight. All right, YouTube, here we are on our way back over to Queen Annie's place, my mom's 3 foot by 6 foot Hugo garden planter, in which, as you can see, YouTube, she is indeed growing Beauregard sweet potatoes. I want to show you what that planter looks like right now, YouTube. Take a look at this. Bam! Can you see that, YouTube? Can you guys see that? My mom's Beauregard sweet potatoes have indeed vined way out. We've actually taken those vines and flipped them back over on top of the planter several times from both sides. They grow back out each time we do that. So this is what they're currently looking like right here, right now, July the 11th, 2020. We're gonna go ahead and remove those vines from my mom's Beauregard sweet potato plants here, YouTube, and show you guys exactly how well or not well my mom did growing Beauregard sweet potatoes in her 3 foot by 6 foot Hugo garden planter. Hang tight, YouTube. All right, YouTube, we're back, and this is indeed what things are currently looking like at Queen Annie's place with all of the vines removed from my mom's Beauregard sweet potato plants. Take a look at this, YouTube. Yes, indeed, things are looking quite different over here, YouTube, with all of those vines removed. We're gonna get in here just a second here and see exactly how well or not well my mom did growing her Beauregard sweet potatoes here in this planter. As you guys can see, we have some nice bulges at every spot where we planted a Beauregard sweet potato slip. We planted a total, YouTube, a total of 16 Beauregard sweet potato slips here in this planter. They vine way, way, way out, as you saw in the previous clip. We're gonna get in here right now, YouTube, and see exactly how well or not well my mom did growing her Beauregard sweet potatoes right here at Queen Annie's place. We're gonna start with this slip down here on the end down here. If you guys been following the video series on my mom growing her Beauregard sweet potato slips here in this planter, you recall the fact that these two Beauregard sweet potato slips here on the end were rootless when we planted them here in this planter, and the remaining 14 Beauregard sweet potato slips already had roots on those when we planted those here. We're gonna start here on this end. Another further note is this half of the planter here, YouTube, got a lot more sunlight than this half of the planter. We knew that when we planted these Beauregard sweet potato slips here, so we planted our larger and more developed sweet potato slips here on this end down here in the more partially shaded area down here, and our smaller and our rootless slips here on this end. We're going to see exactly how well my mom did or not did here growing her Beauregard sweet potatoes. Mrs. Rosadol is currently inside working on one of her arts and crafts projects, so I don't have any help out here in the garden with me today. Camera work is going to be probably quite shoddy here on YouTube, but let's get in here. See exactly what my mom has going on, or should I say growing on, with her Beauregard sweet potatoes. Today is indeed, again, day 110 of these Beauregard sweet potato slips growing here in this 3 foot by 6 foot Hugo garden planter. I'm digging down and down and down YouTube, but I'm not seeing anything. And I hope that they just developed way, way, way down in the soil. The soil was quite loose and loomy in this planter when we planted these Beauregard sweet potato slips here. We showed you guys that in the planting video for these sweet potatoes. And I'm digging down here, YouTube. Oh, I feel a little something down here. I feel a little something, but not much at all, I don't think. But look at that, YouTube. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. See if there's anything else down here, YouTube. I'm digging down in here. See what we got going on down in there. There's a little something down in there, YouTube. Let's see what my mom grew here. Not too bad at all, my mom. Not too bad at all, mother. So far from this first plant, I am very pleased by what I'm seeing, Mom. That might be it for this first plant. I'm not quite sure. Have some more roots going over this way. I'm gonna continue this dig. This root went all the way over to the other side of the planter, seems like. Something else going on here, YouTube. And again, excuse my shoddy camera work here, YouTube. I'm out here in the garden by myself today. Mr. Rosadol is in there again, working on one of her arts and crafts projects. So I am indeed out here by myself alone today, conducting this harvest. Not too bad from that first plant, Mom. Not too bad at all. I'm gonna come back and do a final dig, all the way down to the level of the organics. Wait a minute, maybe something else down there a little deeper here. Hold on. I think that may be it for that first plant, but not too bad for that first plant, Mom. Not too bad at all. Moving on to this next plant here, YouTube. Excuse again my shoddy camera work. I am being forced to conduct this harvest alone today by myself out here in the gardens. What I'm going to do is remove some of this soil back this way from this plant, YouTube. I hope I'm getting this in the frame. I know this is some pretty terrible camera work. We got to get these potatoes out of the ground today. We need this planter for something else. It's been raining here a lot, and we don't want that rain to cause any rot amongst our potatoes. Little small guy there, and that was actually from this first plant over here, on this end over here. So, let's see what we got here, YouTube. Not too bad at all, Mom. Not too bad at all. I'm loving what I'm seeing from your harvest so far. Down in here a little deeper. Little tiny guy there. We got something pretty nice here, feels like, Mom. Something pretty nice here. Pull some of this soil back this way a bit. Look at that. You guys see that, YouTube? That's a pretty lengthy sweet potato here in my mom's planter. I'm gonna try to get it out without breaking it at all. Look at the size of that sweet potato, YouTube. Look at that. My mom doing good so far, or what, YouTube? Again, we planted these Beauregard sweet potato slips here back on March 21st of this year. This planter is indeed, again, located in a partially shaded area. Overall, it only gets about 5 hours of direct sunlight during the day, and about 4.5 to 5 hours of indirect sunlight the rest of the day. Again, this side of the planter over here was a lot more sunny than this side of the planter over here. So again, we planted our largest and more developed Beauregard sweet potato slips here on this end, and our smaller Beauregard sweet potato slips down on this end, and the ones that didn't have any roots on the very end down here. All right, back to the harvest, YouTube. Get you guys in here as best as I can. Again, this is our second. This is our third plant here in this planter, YouTube. Again, we planted 16, a total of 16 Beauregard sweet potato slips here in this planter. We got something else left over from that second plant here, YouTube. If I can get that guy out of there. Had that little guy there hiding down in the soil. We'll add him to the collection. And again, YouTube, we'll come back at the end of this harvest, do a thorough dig with our rake, and make sure that we didn't leave any more potatoes down in the soil. On to our third plant here on the right side of Queen Annie's place. The tiny guy there. I'm gonna pour some of this soil back this way. Try to keep what I'm doing for the most part in the frame here. Not too bad. Some smaller size ones from this plant I'm seeing so far, Mom. But not too bad still. I can't complain about that at all, Mom. Let's see if there's anything else further down here in this soil. Again, this soil was very, very, very loose and loomy when we planted our sweet potato slips here. As you guys can see, I'm conducting this dig using just my hands. No need for a garden rake or shovel or pitchfork or anything like that to get these potatoes down here in the soil. On to our fourth plant here, YouTube, on the right side of Queen Annie's place. Harvest so far, Mom. I hope you enjoy what you're seeing when you watch this video. For any of our new subscribers who just joining our channel, my mom grew carrots back here in this planter last year. She grew garlic in this planter last year. She grew tomatoes in this planter last year. She grew early sprouting broccoli in this planter last year. And she grew red rock mammoth cabbage down on the end in this planter last year. Everything did pretty well. We harvested those last few garden crops that were left in this planter just prior to planting our Beauregard sweet potato slips here. And again, we grew our own Beauregard sweet potato slips here in buckets from seed potatoes and then planted them out here at Queen Annie's place. This is our fourth plant out of a total of 16 plants here, and not too bad at all, Mom. These are some large sweet potatoes coming out of your planter, and I am indeed impressed by what I'm seeing so far. Okay, we're down to the organics here beneath this plant, so everything else should be like right in this area right in here, YouTube. We have some huge logs down there in the very, very bottom of our planter, so I know nothing can grow past that down in that bottom. Our fourth plant. Not too bad at all, Mom. At all. Looking good so far, actually. We're indeed 1/4 of the way done with this harvest. On to our fifth plant, YouTube. I'm going to pour some of this soil back this way. And again, from this point here back that way, got a lot less sunlight than from this point back that way, YouTube. Again, we planted our larger Beauregard sweet potato slips on this end because we knew that it would be slightly more shady than this end up here where we planted our smaller ones. This was an experimental harvest for us. An experimental planting for us as always. We didn't know how well or not well we would do growing Beauregard sweet potatoes here in this particular planter in this partially shaded area. But I'm pleased so far, YouTube. I'm pleased with what I've seen so far coming up out of my mom's planter here. harvest is looking quite well so far from just 5 plants. And look at that, YouTube. Look at that. These are indeed some nice size sweet potatoes that my mom grew here in her 3-foot by 6-foot hugelkultur garden planter. On to the 6th plant, YouTube. And let's see what that plant has to offer. If you just joining us at this point in this video, this is indeed our harvest of my mom's Beauregard sweet potato plants that she grew here from flips that we grew from seed potatoes here. This is our 6th plant here, YouTube. And again, I am pleased so far with the harvest. Take a look at that, YouTube. Looks like something pretty nice right there. And it is. Look at that, YouTube. My mom has indeed managed to grow quite a crop of Beauregard sweet potatoes in her 3-foot by 6-foot hugelkultur garden planter in this partially shaded area of our front yard garden extended grow area. But for anybody out there who's wondering if you can indeed grow sweet potatoes in a partially shaded area, here's proof right here, YouTube. Here's indeed proof right here that sweet potatoes can be grown in a partially shaded area. And there's more proof right down there, YouTube. Our 6th plant, and look at what I'm pulling up out of this soil, YouTube. Look at that. Is that a huge potato or what? Are you loving what you're seeing so far, Mom? I am. Just as much as I love you, Mom. Yeah. Harvesting Beauregard sweet potatoes from my mother's 3-foot by 6-foot hugelkultur garden planter after a total of 110 days of growth in this partially shaded area. And I couldn't possibly be more pleased by what's coming up out of this soil. I'm going to see if I can go inside after I pull these last remaining slips here out and coax Mrs. Rosadol into coming out here and joining me for this harvest. I know, as you guys can tell from the previous sweet potato harvest videos, that she thoroughly enjoys digging up sweet potatoes as much as I do, probably more, YouTube. So I'm going to harvest half of these Beauregard sweet potatoes here in my mom's planter. And again, she's really busy in there working on one of her arts and crafts projects that we're going to give you guys some peeks at here in the near future. So she may not want to come out here, but when I tell her that I'm actually out here harvesting sweet potatoes, I guarantee you she'll come out here and join us. The 8th plant, YouTube, and look at what's coming out from under this 8th plant. I mean, I'm pulling out potato after potato after potato from beneath this 8th plant over here. And this 8th plant in this corner did not vine out very much at all. It was indeed one of the largest Beauregard sweet potato slips that we planted here when we first planted these sweet potatoes, but it didn't vine out much at all. But boy, did it ever produce some huge sweet potatoes. I thought we had a nice harvest over there at Deep South Homestead, but Danny and Wanda, watch out for Queen Annie. Y'all see that? Y'all got some serious competition, Danny and Wanda. And she's not done. Another little small guy down here. Another little small guy right there. see what else we got here. Tiny guy right there. And again, excuse my shoddy camera work. I am indeed out here in this garden by myself. But I will be, and I broke this one off YouTube. Sorry, Mom. Broke that guy off, but yeah. One plant, Mom. Your 8th plant over there in that corner produced all of these sweet potatoes. And you gotta be, Mama, you gotta be pleased by the results of your harvest thus far. I'm gonna get all of these potatoes moved over to this side over here and make some room for Mrs. Rosadol to get in there on the other side of that planter and harvest those 8 Beauregard sweet potato plants on that side of the planter and see just how well my mom did growing her Beauregard sweet potatoes right here in this 3-foot by 6-foot Hugo Kutcher garden planter YouTube. This is indeed the results of 8 of the 16 Beauregard sweet potato slips that she planted here in this planter. What do you guys think so far? I'm impressed, YouTube. Hang tight. We're gonna go on the inside, see if we can get Mrs. Rosadol to come out here and harvest those 8 Beauregard sweet potato slips over there on that side of the planter, and we'll show you guys the total of what my mom has indeed grown here at her 3-foot by 6-foot Hugo Kutcher garden planter from her 16 Beauregard sweet potato plants. Hang tight, YouTube. All right, YouTube, we're back. This is the results of 8 of the 16 Beauregard sweet potato slips that my mom grew in her 3-foot by 6-foot Hugo Kutcher garden planter. As I told you guys in the previous clip, the word sweet potato harvest brought, bam, Mrs. Rosadol right out of the house. She put those arts and crafts projects right down. She came outside, she cursed me out and everything because I was out here harvesting these sweet potatoes without her out here, YouTube. But again, I saved that half of this 3-foot by 6-foot Hugo Kutcher garden planter with those 8 plants for Mrs. Rosadol to harvest. She's going to start here on this end with the second one of the Beauregard sweet potato slips that didn't have roots on it at all when we first planted these slips here. She's going to dig down in that soil. It is indeed pretty loose. In fact, far looser than the soil we grew our July the 4th harvest in over there at Deep South Homestead. So removing these sweet potatoes should be no issue. We do have large logs down in the bottom of our Hugo Kutcher garden planter. We only have about 10 inches of soil above our organics level, so should be no issue getting these Beauregard sweet potatoes removed. As you guys can see, Mrs. Rosadol loves playing in dirt. Just like Tina up there at Bumblebee Junction. She loves playing in the dirt, but look at that, YouTube. Again, this Beauregard sweet potato slip had absolutely no roots on it when we planted it here, just as the one we planted here on this side. And when you look at exactly the size of what Mrs. Rosadol is currently trying to remove from that first rootless sweet potato slip here on the second half of my mom's Beauregard sweet potato slips here. That appears to be quite a nice sized sweet potato.
Yep,
She's
and
trying to get it
really
out.
deep.
She said it goes way, way, way down in the soil. As you guys may recall from the planting video, this soil in this planter was very, very, very loose and very, very loomy, making it the perfect planter to plant sweet potatoes in or any type of root crop. And wow, that thing went way down. Give her a hand in getting down there to what she's trying to do, because indeed that thing almost grew to China, YouTube. All right. I'm gonna get back out of the way and let her have her. And I just scratched something right there. Wow. Look at that, Mom. Look at that huge potato. That thing's got to be about a foot long I tell you, YouTube, it is huge. Pull this out of the way for Mrs. Rosadol. You guys see that, YouTube? Some huge potatoes. The gnats are terrible out here, YouTube. Mrs. Rosadol is out here fighting gnats just as I was out here earlier. But again, Mom, really hope you were pleased by the results of what you grew here in our planter. Do this same thing here for Mrs. Rosadol and pull some more of this soil back so she can get down in there. That's one of the logs I was telling you about on the level of our organics, and wow, that's a monster potato. Look at that, man. Huge potatoes. We thought we had a monster crop over there at, again, Deep South Homestead, but these are quite some large size sweet potatoes. And again, YouTube, that first Beauregard sweet potato slip there was rootless, you guys. It had no roots on it when we first planted it here. And the other, and this one, neither did this one, and the other 14 plants in this planter actually had roots on them when we planted those here back on March the 21st of this year.
It went down in between the boards.
That one actually grew down in between our logs, YouTube, but wow. Nice sized sweet potatoes, YouTube. Nice sized sweet potatoes. This is indeed, YouTube, also our third harvest of sweet potatoes this year. Our first harvest was back on Father's Day of this year when we harvested our Beauregard sweet potato slips that we grew during our greenhouse overwintering experiment. Our second crop was back on July 4th when we harvested sweet potatoes over at Deep South Homestead in Danny and Wanda's planter. And this is indeed our third harvest here at Queen Annie's place. And my mom has done amazingly well here growing sweet potatoes in this partially shaded location of our front yard garden extended grow area. Potato after potato after potato, and nice size on YouTube, nice size one coming up out of this planter. Wow, look at that, YouTube. What would you say, Mr. Rosadol, at least 16 inches long?
Yeah.
Wow.
A nice one.
Nice size. You use some long sweet potatoes here, Mom. I'm thinking most about the major cause of that was the fact that we had our, again, organic level about 10 inches beneath this soil right here. Our potatoes grew down, hit that level, and began to grow to the side. This is our 11th plant here. That Mrs. Rosadol is currently digging down around. I'm gonna pull some of this soil back in the opposite direction now, YouTube, to give her some room here to work with in this planter. All right. And my mom has indeed, YouTube, has indeed grown quite a crop of sweet potatoes here this year in her partially shaded planter at Queen Annie's place, right here in our front yard garden extended grow area.
That's a little baby.
Now, as you can see, the huge difference between the soil in this planter and the soil in those buckets that we had in our greenhouse overwinter experiment is the soil in this planter is not root bound. These roots had plenty of growth space here in this planter, and they really, really, really produced well for us here. Again, we planted these back on March the 21st of this year, YouTube. It was just beginning to warm up here for us, and our sweet potatoes took off quite fast here, grew well, and as you can see, they produced well. Again, for anybody out there who has a partially shaded area in your yard and you're wondering if it is indeed possible to grow sweet potatoes in a partially shaded location in your area, YouTube, this is indeed proof. Look, YouTube, look, look, look. Look at that, YouTube. Again, this planter is located in a partially shaded area. It only got about 5 hours of direct sunlight here every day for the past 110 days. It got about 4.5 to 5 hours of indirect light here in this planter for the past 110 days. And wow, YouTube, wow. Huge, huge, huge sweet potatoes. Are you impressed, Mom? You really should be. Look at that hole, YouTube. And that ain't all. All of our smaller ones here to one side over there. Those will be consumed first. As you know, guys, anyone who grows sweet potatoes knows and can tell you, smaller sweet potatoes don't store that well. So if you're growing sweet potatoes and you grow small potatoes or a few larger ones, medium ones, consume your smaller ones first after you cure them out, or you can consume them before you even cure them or whatever. But consume your smaller ones first, because the smaller ones indeed do not store as well as the larger ones. When I was running my mouth over there at the wheelbarrow, YouTube, Mr. Rosadol was over here constantly pulling up sweet potatoes out of this planter, and my mom has indeed, YouTube, has indeed done well here during the past 110 days growing her Beauregard sweet potatoes in her 3-foot by 6-foot Huel Kutcher garden planter. The growth of it all is down to the 15th plant in this planter. And let's see what these last 2 plants from my mom's planter here at Queen Annie's place have to offer us, YouTube. Little tiny guy there. I'll take it. Love sweet potatoes here at the Green Thumb Garden channel, YouTube. As you can see in most of our videos, we tend to plant the things that we love to eat the most. Look, oh my God, YouTube. Can you see that, Mom? Wow. Some monster-sized sweet potatoes. And I'm glad we got these up out of this planter. I can see that the soil is slightly too moist in this planter. It's been raining. As you guys can see, this soil is really, really, really moist, YouTube. Couldn't have picked a better day to get these out of here before they start rotting. Again, the gnats are an abomination out here. But indeed, YouTube, indeed, the show must go on. We're almost at the end of this harvest, and I know that this has been a long and drawn out video, YouTube. But during the first half of this video, I was out here by myself. Was indeed able to coax Mrs. Rosadol away from her arts and crafts to join the harvest. And yeah, YouTube, our 16th and final plant here in my mom's planter at Queen Annie's place. Just turn the guys here up. Rosadol's down there on that 16th and final plant. I'll put you guys in for a close up and see exactly what is going on down there in that soil. You guys can see that soil is way, way, way too wet to be growing sweet potatoes in. And I'm glad indeed we chose today to get these up out of this soil. Wow. Look at that, YouTube. I tell you what. I'm proud of you, Mom, and what you did here in our garden this year. Again, thank you for giving me this green thumb and showing me how to grow things. It's really paid off for us. Can't tell you, Mom, can't tell you how much money we save at the grocery stores by buying seeds or harvesting and replanting seeds and growing the type of things that we love to eat here in our gardens. I think that's it, YouTube. See, Rosadol has completed her dig on that side of the planter over here. I'm gonna take you guys back over to this wheelbarrow here and give you guys a final look at exactly how well my mom did this year in 110 days growing her Beauregard sweet potatoes right here in our front yard garden extended grow area. Take a look at this, YouTube. Bam. Is that a nice haul or what, YouTube? Is that a nice haul of sweet potatoes? Take you guys in for some close-ups. My mom did fantastically well here growing her Beauregard sweet potatoes in her 3 foot by 6 foot agriculture garden planter. Again, we don't have a garden scale here at the Green Thumb Garden channel YouTube, so we can't give you guys an accurate amount of weight and as far as how many pounds of sweet potatoes we grew, but that's enough for us to eat, YouTube. That's all that really matters. It's enough for us to eat, YouTube. At any rate, YouTube, if indeed you currently are watching this video and you're not already subscribed to the Green Thumb Garden channel, please indeed take this moment to press that subscribe button beneath this video, that like button, that notification button, and be sure to share this video with your friends and family as well. Yeah, YouTube. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Harvesting Beauregard sweet potatoes at Queen Annie's place. Thanks for watching, YouTube.